You are sitting on the couch after a long day. Your dog has already followed you from the kitchen to the hallway, from the hallway to the couch, and now closer. Closer than usual. They press their body against your leg, rest their head on you, and if you shift even slightly, they adjust instantly, as if distance itself makes them uneasy. At first, it feels sweet. Then it feels strange, because this was not always like this. So you start to wonder, why is your dog suddenly so clingy when nothing has changed? Or has something changed that you just have not noticed yet? Most people believe this is simple. They think the dog is just being needy, maybe bored, maybe spoiled. Maybe they have learned that staying close gets attention, treats, comfort. So the advice usually sounds the same. Ignore it. Create distance. Teach independence. But this explanation misses something deeper. Because what looks like clinginess on the surface is often not about attention at all. It is about safety. And more importantly, it is about uncertainty. Here is the part most people never consider. Dogs do not become clingy for no reason. They become clingy when their internal sense of stability shifts. Not dramatically, not obviously, but enough for their brain to notice. And once it does, everything changes. What if your dog is not trying to get something from you, but trying to stay connected to the only thing that still feels predictable? Because your dog does not understand your life the way you do. They do not understand your schedule. They do not understand your thoughts. They only understand patterns. And when those patterns shift, even slightly, their brain starts asking one question. Is my world still safe?
Researchers who study dog behavior have found that dogs are incredibly sensitive to micro changes in human routines.
Not just big changes like moving houses or new people. Small things. The time you wake up, the way you move in the morning, the tone of your voice, even the rhythm of your footsteps.
In controlled observation studies, dogs showed measurable behavioral changes when owners altered subtle daily habits, even when the owners themselves believed nothing had changed.
To you, it is nothing. To your dog, it is everything. Because their brain is built to detect patterns that predict safety. And when those patterns shift, their nervous system does not wait for an explanation. It reacts.
Another study observing dogs in home environments found that proximity-seeking behavior increases when a dog experiences uncertainty or mild stress, even without visible triggers.
Not fear, not panic, just a quiet internal shift. The dog moves closer, stays closer, watches more, follows more. Not because they are weak, but because closeness is their way of stabilizing the world. And this is where the real story begins. Because this is not just behavior. It is biology. Inside your dog's brain, there is a system designed for one purpose. Attachment. A system that has evolved over thousands of years, shaped specifically for living alongside humans. When your dog stays close to you, their brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical associated with bonding, trust, and emotional safety. The same system that activates between a parent and child. And here is the important part. This system does not only activate during affection. It activates strongest when the dog feels uncertainty. Because closeness reduces stress. Closeness tells the brain, you are safe. Your dog is not just choosing to be near you. Their brain is guiding them there. Because in that moment, you are not just their owner. You are their reference point, their anchor, their constant. Now think about this. There are studies showing that dogs synchronize their emotional states with their owners, their heart rate, their stress levels, even their hormonal patterns. When you are calm, they calm. When you are tense, they shift. When something in your internal world changes, even slightly, their body registers it. Sometimes before you do. This means something important. Your dog might be reacting to something you have not consciously noticed. A subtle stress, a shift in mood, a change in routine, even a distraction. And instead of moving away, they move closer. Because that is how they recalibrate. This is why clinginess often appears suddenly. Not because the dog changed, but because something in their environment did. And their response is not random. It is precise. It is adaptive. It is intelligent. But here's where it becomes emotional. Because when you look down at your dog pressing against you, following you from room to room, it is easy to think they are demanding something. But what they are really doing is checking something. Are you still here? Are you still the same? Is everything still okay? And every time you respond, even without realizing it, you answer that question. Yes, and their body relaxes. Even just a little. There is something else that makes this even deeper. Dogs do not measure time the way humans do. They do not think in hours or schedules. They think in presence and absence, connection and disconnection. So when something feels uncertain, they do not analyze it. They move toward connection. That is why they follow you to the bathroom. Why they wait outside the door. Why they lie closer than usual. Because distance in their brain is not neutral. Distance means uncertainty. Closeness means safety. And when something inside them shifts, they choose safety. There is a moment many people miss. It happens quietly. When your dog is lying next to you, not moving, just breathing with you. If you pay attention, you will notice something. Their breathing slows. Their body softens. Their eyes close just a little. That is not just rest. That is regulation. Their nervous system is syncing with yours, finding balance through your presence, and this is where everything changes. Because what you thought was clinginess is actually trust. But not just any kind of trust. A specific kind. The kind that appears when something feels uncertain. The kind that says, I do not fully understand what is happening, but I know you are where I need to be. There is one insight that shifts everything. Dogs do not stay close because they are dependent. They stay close because they have learned that you are reliable. And when something feels off, they return to what is reliable. You, that is not weakness. That is intelligence. That is survival. That is love in its most honest form. Because love in a dog's world is not abstract. It is not spoken. It is not explained. It is measured in distance. How far they are willing to be from you. When they do not feel completely certain, and in those moments when they choose to stay close, they are telling you something without words. I trust you more than I trust the world right now. And that is why this matters. Because how you respond shapes what happens next. If you push them away, they do not become independent. They become confused. If you ignore them, they do not become strong. They become uncertain. But if you understand, if you stay calm, if you remain consistent, you give them exactly what they are looking for. Stability. And over time, something quiet happens. They stop needing to stay so close. Not because they stop loving you, but because they no longer feel that uncertainty. They learn something. Everything's still okay. There is one final thought that stays with people long after they hear it. Your dog does not follow you because they have nowhere else to go. They follow you because, to them, you are where everything makes sense. And when something in their world feels unclear, they move toward clarity. They move toward you. So the next time your dog presses against you for no clear reason, before you call it clingy, before you try to correct it, pause. Look closer. Because in that quiet moment, your dog might not be asking for attention. They might be asking a question, and without realizing it, you are the only answer they have. You are not just their owner. You are their sense of safety in a world they cannot fully understand. And sometimes, staying close is the only way they know how to hold on to that. If you have ever noticed your dog suddenly becoming more attached, more present, more aware of you, I want you to think about what might have changed around them, or even within you, and tell me, when does your dog choose to stay closest to you? Because the answer might reveal more than you expect.